Therefore, Persia or Iran attacking Israel is predicted in the Bible, and guess what? That just happened.
As Israel and Iran exchanged hostilities in the Middle East, U.S. Christian evangelicals began interpreting the escalation within the framework of an Abrahamic end times prophecy.
The Gog-Magog army is Russia, Iran, and several others that are going to join in the attack of Israel.
This is Pastor John Hagee, an influential pro-Israel lobbyist in the U.S., describing Russia, Iran, and several Muslim countries as part of a biblical Gog and Magog army that has waged war on Israel.
Praying a prayer of confession of sin is a lot better than allowing the Antichrist to cut your head off.
Hagee is also the founder of Christian Friends of Israel, a 10 million member pro-Israel lobbying group that calls for public support for the state of Israel. Their lobbying efforts emboldened former U.S. President Donald Trump to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem in 2018.
And we moved the capital of Israel to Jerusalem. That's for the evangelicals. You know, it's amazing with that. The evangelicals are more excited about that than Jewish people. It's really, right? It's incredible.
Since Israel launched its ongoing war on Palestine's Gaza, CUFI has mobilized a public relations campaign to support Tel Aviv and has raised over $2 million for Israeli charities. Following Tehran's retaliatory strikes on Israel, Hagee also called for an escalation in attacks on Iran.
We are on the verge of the Gog-Magog war that Ezekiel described in chapters 38 and 39. This attack by Iran, who launched more than 200 missiles yesterday, is a tribute to the weak and pathetic leadership of Joe Biden.
Gog and Magog appear in all three Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In Christian tradition, they symbolize nations that will ally with Satan against God at the end of time. In the Holy Quran, they are mentioned as Yajuj and Majuj, two powerful barbaric tribes restrained by a wall. Their appearance signifies the end of times. In Judaism, however, Gog is described as a leader and Magog is his land. They are associated with apocalyptic prophecies where they will battle against the forces of good and will be defeated by God. According to some interpretations of the text, this battle will then precipitate the coming of the Messiah. Evangelicals believe that the current Israel-Palestine conflict is part of the prophetic events leading up to the end times that will bring about the second coming of Jesus Christ.
If you listen closely, you can hear the footsteps of Messiah. Get ready! Get ready! Get ready!
Soon after tensions between Iran and Israel escalated, American evangelicals began drumming up support for the State of Israel, which since October last year has killed over 34,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children. The group interprets passages from the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, as promising blessings to those who support Israel and curses to those who oppose it. This apocalyptic belief shapes their political views and motivates them to lobby for Israel's interests. Over the decades, Christian evangelicals have played a significant role in shaping U.S. foreign policy, especially when it comes to the Israel-Palestine conflict. They form a significant voting bloc within the Republican Party, and politicians who seek their support often adopt a pro-Israel stance, viewing Israel's success as crucial for the fulfillment of the biblical prophecy they subscribe to. Currently, more than 100 members of U.S. Congress can be identified as evangelical. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu often glorifies them to galvanize their support.
When I say we have no greater friends than the many, many millions of Christian supporters of Israel in the United States and also in other parts of the world, I mean it.
Even though Christian evangelicals are calling for an all-out war with Iran, they also acknowledge the contributions of the King of Persia and the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, Cyrus the Great. who in 538 BCE allowed Jewish people to return from Babylon to Jerusalem. Cyrus was, and is, revered by Jews as a God-sent figure. Fast forward to the time of the pro-West monarch of Iran, the Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who maintained friendly diplomatic ties with Tel Aviv. During his reign, Israel was one of Iran's main arms suppliers. In 1950, Iran recognized Israel. However, after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, the Shah was dethroned and Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini assumed power. Tehran began to view Israel as the occupier of Palestine, and its relationship with Tel Aviv turned hostile. This was followed by the severance of Iran's commercial and diplomatic ties with Tel Aviv and the withdrawal of its recognition of the State of Israel.
American Evangelical Church in freefall.
In 2006, almost a quarter of the U.S. population identified as white evangelicals. However, the movement is now facing a crisis of its own. By 2020, evangelicals had dwindled to only 14.5% of the population. According to a 2021 survey by the University of North Carolina and Pembroke, support for Israel dropped from 75% to 34% between 2018 and 2021 among young evangelicals. The survey also found that nearly 45% of younger evangelical Christians are supportive of the establishment of a Palestinian state. As support for Israel declines among evangelicals in the US, is their appetite for an apocalypse dwindling, or will it push the Middle East towards the precipice of a catastrophic war?